You know that bit in like Miss Congeniality where all the girls are interviewed for the pageant and they all get asked like what they want the most in the world and they all answer world peace? And then it's funny because at the end it comes back because Sandra Bullock, she's giving a speech and she says that she really does want world peace and it's a really sweet moment. Can we just strive for world peace? Like, for real? Why can't we just be happy, people? God. Hi guys, Carla here. So, let me put it this way. If you are as avid a consumer of the internet and television as I am, meaning because of my job, I basically spend the entire day in front of my computer and with the TV on in the background. So I pretty much am very attuned to what's happening in the world at the moment because news just pops up in front of me and I have to consume it. If you're like me, this week was probably a tough week to get through because so many awful things are happening in the world right now. And I often have weeks like that because I mean I don't have much of a life personally, so it's not necessarily that things are bad in my life, it's just the stuff that happens around the world just brings me down really bad. And I have mentioned a few times in the past that I have certain movies and certain shows that are sort of go-tos that I put on or watch whenever I'm feeling down about something. I remember when I was doing my thesis for my master's, I was really stressed out and I would just watch these things over and over and over again. I have mentioned a few of those in the past, and I think because this week has been so hard, like literally I think the only thing that has made me really freaking happy this week is the fact that the yes vote won in the Australian postal vote thing. I don't really know what a postal vote is. It's an Australian thing, I guess. But I'm glad that the yes vote won, and to all my friends in Australia, I love you guys. It's awesome that you're finally taking this step forward. Let's hope the government actually gets it done for you, because I really do think marriage equality is important, and it probably will not happen in my country for at least like 70 more years because this society is freaking retrograde. Don't even start. But I'm glad when it happens in other countries, and I have a lot of friends in Australia and I'm really happy for them and the fact that they're taking this step forward. So that's pretty much literally the only news that made me happy this week. Everything else has sucked majorly. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna talk about the stuff that makes me feel good. So I'm going to make a list of 7 movies and or television shows that I watch over and over and over when I'm feeling down and I want to make myself feel better. So that's what this video is going to do. It's going to be, hopefully it'll be relatively quick, I hope, because I don't have much time to edit it, but I just want to let you know what type of stuff I watch when I'm feeling down and I need to feel better. And I'm also interested in hearing from you guys about this as well. Like, what do you guys watch when you're feeling down and you need to make yourself feel better? So let's go with that, and I'm gonna start really quickly with a movie that you probably will look at me weird for having on this list, but number 1 is The Book Thief. I know what you're thinking. I know it. It's a Holocaust movie. A bunch of the main characters die in the end. Like, it's not necessarily a happy ending. Why the heck is this movie on this list? I know you're wondering that. But there's something about movies about childhood innocence that just it gives me hope for humanity in general. These types of movies where you have kids and they're growing up and they have to deal with really awful stuff, but still you can see the innocence in their story, you know. Even in The Book Thief, even by the end, even when with all these people dead and this destruction, you can sort of take all the good that has happened to Liesel and all the lessons that she has learned through her time with the Hubermans, and just realize that they're very good and very uplifting lessons to be learned. So yeah, the ending is really freaking sad, but it's just that feeling of childhood innocence that just makes me sort of buoyant every time I watch it. So that's why I love that movie so much. I love the book as well. If you like the movie, please read the book. The book is incredible. So, give them a try. But I really, really do love this movie. I remember when I was working on my master's degree, I watched it a lot. I was in Germany, so that was kind of funny too. And the movie was filmed in Germany, and some of the stars were German, so I had seen some of them before, and I really felt sort of like I could be there in that world a little bit, even though it was a terrible, Second World War is an awful setting for any movie, but just the fact that these kids managed to get something good out of that horrible time, for me, really, really does the trick. So do watch that movie. It's so sweet and just adorable all over. And I'm sure you will see through this list that idea of childhood innocence is really one of those themes that just lifts me up when I'm down. So you will see a lot of that in this list as well. Number 2 is The Duff. That teen high school movie starring Mae Whitman that does not get nearly enough credit as it deserves. Like, it's a great movie. It came out at a time when the teen high school movie was kind of a cliche, but I really felt like this movie had something new to give to us. It's not a cookie cutter movie. It's got a lot of things in it that made me laugh. It's got a lot of things in it that made me go, aw, like things that made me relate as well. I like that Mae Whitman's character doesn't necessarily get like, ooh, a makeover in the end. She does get a dress, but it's basically still her. She's not changing herself for the dude. It's refreshing to see that the main character doesn't have to be some kind of like bombshell, super sexy model type to get the guy in the end. It's kind of a nice reversal of many high school movie tropes, and I really like that. I like the way they use technology, and it makes me laugh. It's so funny. It makes such good use of technology and these tropes that are now starting to come up that we didn't see when I was in high school, like the bullying thing and the cyberbullying. That wasn't a thing when I was a kid, so most of the high school movies that I grew up with didn't deal with that, not really. They dealt with like regular bullying, but these times, like these days, kids have it a lot worse. I think because you can literally be bullied from everywhere in the world, and that really freaking sucks. So I really like this movie, and I don't think it gets enough credit for how good it is. It makes me laugh, it makes me relax, it just makes me forget about my problems. So I will always be a supporter of The Duff. Also, I had never heard that concept before I saw that movie, and I think it's a really interesting concept, by the way. So yeah, watch The Duff. It's a good movie. Mae Whitman should be in so much more stuff than she is. Like, that girl does not get enough recognition for how good of an actress she is. She's fantastic, and she should be in more stuff. Number 3 is a TV show, for one. It's Everwood. I've mentioned this before. I love Everwood. It's one of my favorite TV shows. But more specifically, not just the entire show, but the last 2 episodes. I love the ending of Everwood. I freaking love that ending. It's one of the best endings, the most perfect endings. And yes, it's totally schmaltzy and predictable and you name it. I don't care. I love it. It makes me feel happy. It makes my heart sing. I love that ending. For those of us who have been waiting for Efren and Amy to get together. They literally get together at the very last scene, but there's this whole sequence of events leading up to that I love. I seriously just adore this ending, and every once in a while when I'm sad or down or stressed or anything, I just play it. It's on CW Seed, by the way. You can watch the entire show over there. But I just go ahead and play the last 2 episodes, and they make me feel better because they're pretty self-contained as well. Like, I watched the entire show, so I have an idea of what came before. But those 2 episodes, they're called Foreverwood Part 1 and 2, really are sort of self-contained. Like, they don't really hinge on many things in the past, except the one that you obviously get in the previously on Everwood segment. So you don't really need to know a lot, but I love that ending. It makes me feel happy. And it's not the kind of thing where everybody ends up happily necessarily. Like, there's Bright and Hannah who you kind of assume that they'll get together again, but they don't actually get together in the episodes. So, it's just one of those things that I play because I just want to see people be happy. That's all I want. I don't want to see like huge drama. I just want to see love and family and stuff like that, and that's why I watched those 2 episodes. I watch them at least 3 times a year. I'm sure of it. I haven't counted, but I'm sure of it. So yeah, I adore that ending. I adore that ending. So great. Number 4 is Footloose, and you're gonna kill me for this, and I do love the Kevin Bacon original, but the one that I find myself drawn back to every time is the 2011 remake. You're gonna kill me. Like, I'm gonna get so much crap for this. I love the Kevin Bacon one too. I like the music better in Footloose and in the remake. It's not like an acting masterpiece or anything, but I like it. This is the first one in a series of movies that I will detail in this list, and you will notice the pattern straight away, and it's because one of the things that make me feel better the quickest is a movie with music and dancing in it. I love those movies because I tend to love the songs. So I watch the movie and at the same time I'm like the entire time. Like, literally I'm dancing and singing along with the movie, so they make me feel better straight away. And I should note, these are not musicals necessarily. They're movies that have music and dancing in them, but they're not musicals per se. Like, I hate musicals. This is going to sound so weird after I just said that I love Footloose, but I hate musicals. I don't like movies where people just start singing and dancing for no reason whatsoever. At least in these movies that I'm going to list here from this point on, the music is an integral part of the movie in a way that makes sense with the plot. Like, it's not, I'm just gonna start singing because I want to, even though I'm just walking down a hallway and I'm just gonna write a song about it. I don't like those types of movies, like the Glee types of things, where they just burst into song and dance for no reason at all. Like, I'm in the parking lot, I'm dancing, suddenly I have backup dancers behind me. No, I don't like that. At least these movies are musical in the sense that their plot is directly entwined with music performances. So that's the kind of movie I love. I don't like musicals, like actual musicals, just movies that have music and dancing in it. And Footloose is the first one that came to mind. Also, I should mention, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but the list is not in any particular order other than alphabetical. So it's not like I'm ranking them. They're just in alphabetical order. So Footloose is the first one of this type that comes up, and I really love it. I love the music. I love the dancing. The acting, I mean, they're not gonna win Oscars or anything, but the acting is pretty decent. It's actually one of the few times when I can't stomach Miles Teller because, outside of Divergent, which he was fine, I liked him in that, but I can't really get that image of him out of my head, so I have a hard time watching him and stuff. But I really loved him in Footloose, and I'm not the only one who thinks that this movie is good. It's one of the few remakes that's actually pretty decent. I think it has something like 70 something% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. People like this movie, and I enjoy very much rewatching it when I'm feeling down because the music and the dancing just makes me feel so much better. It immediately perks me up straight away. I love this movie. Number 5 along those same lines is Pitch Perfect. I love the Pitch Perfect series overall. I can't wait to see Pitch Perfect 3 in December. I'm really excited. My favorite is the first one. It's the best out of the series so far. The second one I also rewatch every once in a while because I love the songs. The movie wasn't as good as the first one. I kind of missed, Jesse and the troublemakers. I think some plot points just were kind of shoved in for the sake of it. But I still like it. It made me laugh. I had a great time in the movies, and I still rewatch it every once in a while because I love the performances and the songs. But it's the first one that really I rewatch periodically just to make myself feel better. I love that movie so much. That movie had so much unexpected heart. Like, I was not expecting that movie to have so much heart. The songs are incredible. The bonding between the girls, it makes my heart feel lighter straight away just to know that there are these girls who are such great friends and who come to love each other so much even though they're like completely different. Like, not one of them is similar to the next. And I like that. We don't get enough movies with such a huge ensemble cast of mainly women. So I love Pitch Perfect. It's one of the few movie soundtracks that I purchased. I tend not to pay too much attention to music in movies, especially when it's like score, because I feel like it distracts from what's happening on the screen. But Pitch Perfect, the songs were meant to be in the movie, and it's a really great take. I had never really heard of a cappella before I saw this movie, and it kind of changed my world. I don't know. I mean, I'm not into a cappella really, but it's so good. They're so good, and that entire album, the soundtrack, it's basically an album that you can listen to. Like, you don't necessarily realize that it's coming from a movie, but it is, and it's great. And I love it so much because it makes me want to start singing and dancing every time I watch it, and I love that. Number 6 is another movie that has to do with music. So number 6 is Step Up, the original. And I know that people trash on this movie like whoa, like people love to hate on this movie because it was Channing Tatum when he still wasn't Channing Tatum, like the great actor that we know now he is. He was still getting started. His acting was not the greatest. And Jenna Dewan, I love her to death. I think she's a great actress. People don't agree with me on this. Let's just say that. But I love this movie. I thought they had such great chemistry. The choreography was so fantastic. Like, man, you just watch that movie. One of my favorite things about this movie is the way they merge hip-hop with classical. It wasn't a sound that I had heard up until I saw that movie, and I loved it to death. Again, this is one of the few soundtracks that I actually own, and I love it. It was such a fresh take on the genre. I haven't seen any of the sequels, like, at all. I don't really care. If Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan aren't in it, I don't care. But the first one I love. I have it on DVD. I pop it in every once in a while and I rewatch it. I watch it every time it comes up on TV. E has that segment that they call Movies We Love, and it's on like all the time, and I watch it all the time. I love this movie so much. I think it's so great. It's just so entertaining to watch. And I love the music, I love the characters, even if the acting is a little wonky at points, even if the writing is like really, really freaking bad. I love this movie! You can't convince me to not love this movie. I adore it. It makes me feel better every time, and I will keep rewatching it over and over and over, and I will never get sick and tired of it. I will love it forever. That is all. And finally, number 7, because I can't not talk about this show. That's just the way things are. I have to mention it at least once in every video. Stranger Things. And we go back to, of course, that theme of childhood innocence that I adore. These kids are my life. They make me feel better just by looking at them. That's why I have them as my desktop wallpaper and as my cell phone wallpaper. Let me look it up. That's why I have them as my desktop wallpaper. That's why I have them as my phone wallpaper. Like, I love them. Just looking at them makes me feel happy. Just looking at them makes me smile because they're so innocent and so lovely. And in the show, like, this is just the actors. In the show, it's even better because I love them so much. Those kids are my life, and watching Stranger Things just takes me back to a time when things were easier at least. You know, when I was a kid, I don't really remember much of the 80s, honestly. I was born halfway through, so I can't really consider myself an 80s girl. But it just takes me back to a time when things were easier, and to my childhood when I didn't have to worry about all this crap that is happening in the world right now. And it makes me feel so much lighter. It makes me feel so much more innocent, not so jaded, I guess. And I love this show. I have talked about this show enough, so I will try to keep this one short, I guess. But Stranger Things is pretty much, since it came out, it has pretty much become my favorite show, basically, of all time. I love this show. I love this show so much, and I can't wait to see season 3. But if I only got season 1 and 2, I would still be freaking in love with the show. Freaking in love with those kids. I adore them like they were my own children. I'm serious when I say this. Like, I just love them, and how innocent they are, and how much they see the world with that kind of wonder that you get from like Spielberg's movies in the 80s that were all about wonder and these amazing things that happened to like normal little kids who weren't expecting it, and how incredible it all was. Stranger Things captures that feeling to a T. And because of that, I just adore this show. I will probably rewatch it over and over until the day I die. Because every time those kids are on screen, it just makes me smile. It's automatic. That's why I have them as my desktop wallpaper, because I know that just looking at them will make me feel better. So yeah, I had to mention it at least once. So that's number 7, and that's my list for today of movies and TV shows that make me feel better when I'm down. If you have a list of your own, let me know what it is. I'm always looking for stuff that makes me feel better. You know, because there's so much crap going on in the world right now that it's almost like overwhelming. So yeah, I'm always looking for that. Tell me what you think of my shows. Tell me what your shows would be, or your movies would be. And let's chat about it. Tell me why you like those shows, what kind of shows you like. Is there a theme to your list, for example? Because mine is like childhood innocence and music. So basically, I want to know what your themes would be. Let me know in a comment below. And also, while you're at it, if you have any ideas for any topics that you'd like me to talk about in the future, please put it in a comment. If it's anything that I know anything about, anything geeky like books, movies, TV, anything like that, be sure to let me know, and if I know anything about it, I will make sure to add it to my list of videos to make in the future. Also, thanks to everybody who has subscribed to my channel with my last few videos. Hi guys, I talk about Stranger Things literally all the time, like it can't be stopped. So if you're here because of that, you can expect me talking about it for a long time in the future. But please, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you like my stuff, please subscribe to my channel. I'm always happy to see people commenting and sharing and liking and subscribing. It really makes my day, because I love talking about this kind of stuff with you guys and just starting up a discussion, so please keep doing that. In the meantime, you can follow me on social media. I am on Twitter and Instagram at girlsareweird with underscores between the words, and I am on Tumblr at girlsareweird with hyphens between the words. You can find a Facebook page for this vlog at facebook.com/FreakingNarnia, and as usual, be sure to visit my main website at FreakingNarnia.com. All my videos are up there in case you missed anything and want to catch up. you can look it up over there, and it's all in there, so be sure to check it out. Also remember, I have a Redbubble store where I make art for my favorite quotes, for my favorite fandoms, movies, TV shows, whatever, and then you can use that art to print on merchandise such as t-shirts, coffee cups, computer covers, bags, that sort of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in there, so be sure to check it out. I'm adding Stranger Things quotes. I just added one. I will be adding a bunch more later on, so if you're into that, please be sure to visit and maybe purchase something if you're in the mood. It really does help me a lot. I was just noticing this week that it basically pays for my Netflix, so thanks guys. And yeah, that's about it for me today. I will see you guys next week with another video from all the way in freaking Narnia. Bye. Guys, can we just get... That is, whenever I'm not watching others. That the yes vote won because we're freaking retrograde. And then you can use those... And then you can use... Blah, blah, blah.